everybody. How's it going? Welcome. It's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Well, it's at least beautiful here in Fort Collins, Colorado. So I'm so excited to be here to lead you through a podBasics class. My name is Mackenzie, representing YogaPod Fort Collins. So thank you for being here. Today for this podBasics class, we are working on back bends, but I like to call them heart openers instead. I know for me, when I hear the word back bend, I instantly kind of seize up, I kind of panic a little bit. Back bends, I think of like a full wheel or, you know, some crazy posture like that. And we are going to be kind of working through some very basic back bend postures. But when you get within the back bend, you are essentially opening up the heart, opening up the shoulders, and getting a little bit of movement through your spine. So let's rename it to heart openers. I just feel like it's a little bit more friendly than when I think of actual back bends. So you won't need any sort of props for class today. Just a mat, maybe a bottle of water, come with an open heart. If you have anybody, friends or family that are new to yoga, you can always send them this video. This is for anybody who's new to yoga. This is great for intermediate and even advanced practitioners. So I think it's always great to kind of get back to the basics, get back to the foundation, to allow yourself to really grow from there. So again, my name's Mackenzie. I hopped on just a couple minutes late. I did include a Spotify playlist. So if you like to listen to music when you're flowing, feel free to click on that link and it will take you to a Spotify list that I created for basics. So we'll give it just a couple more minutes here. All right. Hey, Dad. My dad is on watching nearly every single one of these classes, so I love it. Okay, so for class, we are going to come into a child's pose. So that's where we're going to start class here. So come down, kneeling onto your shins, and then you want your knees open wide towards the edge of your mat. Now this is going to bring your toes together, and you'll just kind of sit your hips, your glutes back onto your heels. So from here, we're really going to lift up out of the top of our head first, and then begin to slowly walk our hands forward, bringing your chest down to the ground. Maybe you can bring your chin or your forehead down to the ground as well. Find some sort of connection with the ground and your head. Again, maybe your chin, maybe it's your nose, maybe it's your forehead. Find that connection. Really reach your fingers long and straight out in front of you. Just kind of settle here into your mat, settle into your space. Yes, hey Nicole. Now I am outside, so there are a lot of noises. There's a lot of distractions, and you'll find that whether or not you're practicing inside, outside, no matter where it is. And those distractions come in different ways. So sometimes the distractions can be noises around us. Sometimes it can be noises inside of our head. So just start to quiet out the noise that you hear. If you hear the lawnmower, any sort of distractions in your mind, notice those distractions. Have them come up like a little thought cloud right above your head. Take notice of what that is, and then just let it float on by. We don't want to ignore these things around us. It is our environment, but we don't want to put too much attention to it right now. But what we do want to focus our attention on is our breath. So begin to find length through your inhales and your exhales. Maybe you find 4 to 5 count inhales, followed by 4 to 5 count exhales. We'll do just a couple more rounds here. And even in a posture like this child's pose, you can use your inhales and exhales to take it a little bit deeper. So use your inhales to maybe walk your fingers up towards the top of your mat. And then use your exhales to sink your glutes back to your heels. Really feeling the length through your spine and the opening here through your hips. Now with your arms extended out in front of you, come up onto your fingertips here. This opens up your shoulders a little bit more than if your palms were just flat onto the ground. So lift up onto your fingertips, feel that stretch through your shoulders, through your heart, through your upper back. Just a couple of rounds here. And then release your palms down to the ground. On your next inhale, come up to a tabletop position. So shift your shoulders over your wrists. Your knees are directly under your hips here. And you want to start with a long, neutral spine. So just gaze down at the mat here. Your spine is neutral, working the top of your head towards the front of your mat. Working your toes back behind you. We're just using this as a transition. So curl your toes under, take a big inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog. So send your hips high. Find some length here through your spine. So if you need to bend your knees, maybe pedal out one knee at a time. This is called walking the dog. One at a time, working your heels down to the ground. It is okay to have a bend through your knees. So bend your knees as much as you need. What you really want is a long, straight spine. You want to find length through your elbows, through your armpits, big, wide grip through your fingers, and then shift just a little bit of the weight into your fingertips here. Now this is going to help release some pressure from your wrists. Keep on breathing here in your downward facing dog. On your next inhale, gaze to the top of your mat. Bend your knees if you haven't already. And on your exhale, with small steps, walk your feet towards your hands, coming to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, let it go. One second here. Okay. If you guys can let me know right now how the sound is. I'm pretty sure I have my headpiece hooked up to the sound, but I really want to make sure that you guys can hear me okay. So if you're watching, let me know yes or no if the sound is coming through my headpiece when I'm out near my mat. Just having a little bit of technical difficulties here. Don't mind me. There we go. Okay, sound is good. Thanks, Mom. I wanted to make sure before I kept going you guys couldn't hear me. Okay, so we're at a forward fold, top of our mat. Sorry about that. Again, let your knees bend as much as you need. Top of your head works towards the ground, and your gaze is back behind you here. And you can find some movement. Maybe you sway from side to side. Now, I know for me, I really feel this stretch on the back of my legs. So my hamstrings, my calf, my low back is all stretching out, and I'm finding all the compression on the front side of my body. Feet are about hip-width distance, toes point forward. So drop your fingers down to the ground. On your inhale, come to a halfway lift. So bring your spine about parallel to the ground. Exhale, fold forward, let it go. Drop your head down, gaze in between your legs. So 2 more times here. Inhale, halfway lift. Fingers can stay at the ground. They can come up to your shins. Again, spine is parallel. Draw your shoulders down your back. Exhale, fold forward. Last one, inhale, halfway lift. Again, fingers can come to your shins, your thighs, the ground. Hug your low belly in. Draw your shoulders back. Exhale, fold forward. Release your head down. Drop your belly over the top of your thighs. Gaze back behind you. Now on your inhale, come to standing, root to rise. So come all the way up. Hands come with. Bring your palms to touch overhead. Exhale, draw your hands through heart center. Thumbs to your chest. Close your eyes here. So we're standing at Samasthiti. Again, palms pressed together. Draw your thumb into your chest. Standing tall. Extended mountain. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, draw your hands back through heart center. Now hands come down to your side. Face your palms forward. And go ahead and close your eyes here. So we're standing in mountain pose, Tadasana. I know this is a pretty basic pose. If we're getting back to foundation, this is definitely a good place to start. So toes are pointed forward. Lift all of your toes up off of the ground and find your foundation through the sole of your foot. So maybe you find either the 3 corners or the 4 corners of your foot, whatever resonates with you, and then lower down 1 toe at a time. Now, as that is happening, imagine roots growing underneath your feet here. So we have a good, sturdy, solid foundation. Now lift up through your legs. Your legs are fully engaged. So with me, my kneecaps lift. Hug in through your low belly. Now we're not sucking in, but we're drawing our belly button to our spine, just finding that engagement through our low belly. Now find just a very slight tuck of your tailbone, drawing in more engagement, 360 degrees around your hips. Now from here, we're lifting up towards the sky. So lift through the top of your head, lift through your spine. Make sure to draw your shoulders down your back. Standing here at attention, mountain pose, Tadasana. Now let's move on. Inhale, extended mountain, reach arms overhead. Exhale, draw your hands through heart center, thumb to your chest. We're going to move on with our movements. Inhale, extended mountain, reach. Exhale, fold forward. Bring your hands through heart center, hands at your hips. Now you're keeping a flat spine the whole way down. Move as slow as you need to keep that flat spine. Maybe you keep your gaze out in front of you. Release all the way. Again, bend your knees as much as you need. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. One more time, breath to movement. Inhale, extended mountain. Come to standing. Reach your arms overhead. Exhale, draw your hands through heart center. Samasthiti. Inhale, extended mountain. Reach overhead. Exhale, fold forward, draw your hands through your heart. Send your hips back, reach through your gaze out in front of you. Again, knees can stay bent as you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extended mountain, root to rise. Exhale, draw your hands through heart center. Moving with your breath, finding that breath, body, mind connection. That is the true definition of yoga. Inhale, extended mountain reach. Maybe you keep your eyes closed. And this time on your exhale, sit back into chair pose, Utkatasana. So as if you're sitting back into your throne here, hips send back, weight is into your heels, but your chest stays lifted here, arms lift overhead. So you don't want to draw your chest down parallel to the ground. You want to lift it up. This is also called awkward pose for a reason. You should be able to gaze down and see your toes wiggling underneath your knees. If not, work your hips back just a little bit more. And keep on breathing. One more inhale. And exhale. Draw your hands through heart center, forward fold. Knees can be bent as much as you need. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. So plant your hands, step back into a high push-up position. Wrists under your shoulders. Long line of energy from the top of your head back to your heels. So notice here, your wrists, again, should be directly under your shoulders. Now, you don't want to drop down into your shoulder blades. You want to press the mat away, almost pressing up right in between your shoulder blade area. Now notice your hips. Are your hips piked up high? If so, draw them back to the midline. Are your hips sagging down low? If so, go ahead and draw them back to the midline here. Energy out through your heels. Drop to your knees if you need. We're going to be here for one more inhale. Exhale, everybody drop to your knees. And use your full exhale to lower your belly down onto the ground. Now we're working through Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana. So your hands are already underneath your shoulders. Work the tops of your feet into the ground here and draw your ankles together. So you're zipping up your feet as if they are one cobra tail. Now let's start with our chin on the mat. On your inhale, lift up through your head, your neck, your upper back. Your knees are going to lift off of the ground as you press the top of your feet into the mat. Exhale, lower down, chin back to the mat. So let's do that 2 more times here. Inhale, lift through your head, your neck, you're shining through your chest, you're drawing your elbows back. Exhale, lower it down. Last Cobra Pose. Inhale, lift up, Bhujangasana. Belly is soft, you're feeling this in your low back. Exhale, lower, chin to the mat. Curl your toes under. Inhale, lift up, tabletop. And exhale, downward facing dog. Send your hips high, pressing the mat away from you. And then back down into your child's pose. So knees out towards the edge of your mat, hips sink to your heels, arms reach out in front of you. Come back to your breath here, deep inhales and exhales from your child's pose. And I'm going to just go over briefly while you're here in your child's pose some of the benefits of these heart openers. So, as we are finding these quote-unquote back bends, we're really opening up through the shoulders. So a lot of drawing your shoulders back behind you, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. At the same time, we're always going to lengthen our spine and straighten it first, and then find any sort of bend from our mid to upper back. We really want to avoid doing any sort of bending from our low back area. Now, at the same time, as we're stretching through the front side of our body, through some of these heart openers, we really are stretching along the front entire part of the body, which includes our hip flexors, the front muscle of our hips. So right here is where you find that hip flexor. And if you spend a lot of time within the day sitting down, so maybe you work at a desk, maybe you are driving in your car a lot of times, our hip flexors begin to shorten over time. And so it's really important to find these stretches that work to open up those hip flexors so that we don't end up, walking around like this because our hip flexors are so tight. All right, one more breath here in your child's pose. On your inhale, press back up to a tabletop position. Now from this tabletop, we're going to take some movement with our spine. We're going to take some cat-cow. So start with a neutral spine, gazing down. Top of your head works towards the top of your space. Inhale for cow. Drop your belly. Take your gaze up to the sky. Exhale, cat. Press the mat away here. Tuck your chin. Curl your spine. Inhale, cow. Slowly draw your gaze up. You're shining through your collarbone, working your hips towards the sky. Exhale, cat. Really send your navel to your spine. Press through your hands and your knees. Inhale, cow. Drop your belly. Maybe slight bend through your elbows as you gaze up. Exhale, cat. Tuck and curl. Find that flexion through your spine. Hollow out through your belly. Now move through 2 more rounds here at your own pace. Cow, gaze up. Exhale, cat. Press it away. Tuck your chin. One more. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, come back to tabletop position. Now I'm going to move back towards the back of my mat here because I'm going to be stretching out. We're going to move into puppy pose. So from your tabletop, go ahead and walk your hands towards the front of your mat. Now as you do this, your chest, your torso lowers down to the ground. So this is puppy pose. Now you can bring your chin to the mat. You can bring your forehead to the mat, whatever feels best for you. And as you can feel, this is a deep stretch through your arms and your heart as you reach your hands forward, finding just a slight bend through your low back there. Keep on breathing. Only take it as deep as you can. Breathing into your shoulders directly, breathing into your heart. Your belly is soft. Take one more inhale. And exhale. On your inhale, kind of shift your weight forward, and then at the same time, you can start to walk your hands back, coming into a tabletop, so hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. One more round of cat-cow. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, back to neutral spine, tabletop. Exhale, curl your toes, downward facing dog. Again, pedal it out. Find any movement, come back to your breath in this downward facing dog. So again, you're really pressing the mat away from you. This is gonna work your hips up high. Knees can bend as much as you need. Hold here for one more round of breath. Exhale, maybe out your mouth, release any hot air. Inhale, gaze to the top of your mat, bend your knees. On your exhale, slowly walk your feet towards your hands, come into forward fold, top of the mat. Again, your head hangs heavy, your gaze is back behind you. Knees can bend as much as you need. Swing from side to side. Then come back to center, hands under your shoulders. Inhale, halfway lift. Your spine comes parallel to the ground, draw your shoulders down your back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extended mountain, root to rise. Comes all the way standing, arms overhead. Exhale, hands through, heart center. Now go ahead and drop your hands down to your low back. We want to interlace our hands down at our low back and then toe heel your feet out towards the edges of the mat here. Now on your inhale, send your knuckles down to the ground. Work your gaze up. You're feeling a deep shoulder opening. And then exhale, fold forward. So hinge at your hips here. As much as you can, work your knuckles towards the front of the space. Now this is hard for me. I have really, really tight shoulders. My grip becomes really loose, but I can at least keep it for a little bit. Let your head hang heavy, work your knuckles towards the front of the space. And you can bend your knees as much as you need. One more round of breath. On your exhale, drop your hands to your low back and then drop them all the way to the ground. Toe heel your feet back to hip width distance. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extended mountain root to rise. Now a different variation, exhale, swan dive forward. So bring your arms to a T, all the way down, just finding a little bit more opening through your heart and shoulders. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Coming to stand again. Inhale, extended mountain root to rise. Now this time on your exhale, cactus your arms. So bring your arms to goal posts. So elbows work back behind you, fingers are pointing up to the sky. Now with this, you're feeling a really deep opening through your heart. So at the same time, send your hips forward, your belly forward, your chest forward, maybe gaze up to the sky very gently. And hold here, one more inhale. Exhale, draw your shoulder blades together, back behind you. Inhale, extended mountain, reach your arms. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank, step back into your high push-up position. Hold here for a full inhale. Press the mat away, puff up through your shoulder blades. Exhale, drop to your knees, lower your belly all the way down into the mat. Hands under your shoulders. Tops of your feet root into the earth. Now zip up your ankles and your feet so it becomes one cobra tail here. Now your hands are directly under your shoulders. From here, draw them back just a little bit. This is going to give you a little bit more opening through your heart. So let's start with our chin to the mat. Inhale, cobra pose, lift through your head, your neck, your upper back, elbows work back behind you. Exhale, fold, chin to the mat. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, cobra, Bhujangasana. Press the tops of your feet into the mat so much your knees lift. Exhale, lower. Last one, inhale, cobra pose, draw your elbows, your shoulders back behind you. Soften through your belly. Exhale, lower it down. Hands come back under your shoulders, curl your toes. Inhale, press up, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. Exhale, let it go. Moving on with our flow. Inhale, right leg high. So send your right heel to the sky. Keep your hips closed though. We're not opening up completely through our hips. We want our hips dialed down, square to the earth, heel lifts. Exhale, lunge. Draw your right foot next to your right thumb. So here we are in our lunge. Let's find our foundation. Right knee directly over your right ankle. Your left knee is lifted. You're working the back of your left thigh up towards the sky. And just breathe here in our lunge, not putting too much pressure of our chest onto the top of our right thigh. Go ahead and drop your left knee down to the ground. Inhale, low crescent lunge. Reach your fingers up high to the sky. Now we want to keep that right knee over your right ankle. So if it starts to come forward over your toes. You simply want to toe heel that right foot a little bit more in front of you. Sink down in. Feeling this deep stretch along your hip flexor, the front side of your left hip. Reaching your arms overhead. Hug in through your low belly. Now keep on breathing here. Inhale, maybe you gaze up. Exhale, cactus your arms here. Again, take them back into your cactus arms, shining through your heart, your chest, maybe gaze up to the sky. Hold here for an exhale. Inhale, back, arms overhead, low crescent lunge. Exhale, plant your hands down to the ground. Step back into tabletop. One round of cat-cow. Back to neutral spine, tabletop, curl your toes, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, lunge, step your left foot next to your left thumb. So let's find that foundation, left knee over left ankle. Your right knee is lifted, finding some strength, finding length through your right leg, out through your right heel. And then lower your right knee down to the ground. Inhale, low crescent lunge, reach your arms overhead. Feel that stretch through the front side of your right hip. Hug in through your low belly. Reach up through your fingertips. Hold here for an inhale, gaze up. Exhale, cactus your arms. Draw them back into goalposts. Again, opening through your heart, through your shoulders, through your upper back. Draw your elbows back behind you. Find your breath. Inhale, low crescent lunge, arms reach overhead. Exhale, plant your hands down to the ground. Step back into tabletop. Both knees to the ground. Wrists under your shoulders. Curl your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze to the top of your mat. Bend your knees. Exhale, walk your feet to your hands. Forward fold, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, let it go. Inhale, extended mountain reach overhead. A little bit different this time. Exhale, side bend to the right. So drop your right hand down to the ground. Keep your left hand lifted. Now inhale, lift up through your left fingers. Exhale, side bend to the right. Draw your left fingers over to the right. Now you're rooting down through your left foot, reaching up through your entire left side body. Right fingers reach down towards the ground. Inhale, extended mountain reach. Exhale, drop your left hand to the ground, setting up for side bend, left side. Inhale, reach your fingers high on the right. Exhale, bend to the left, feeling this through your entire right side body. Root down through your right foot. Reach through your left fingers. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, cactus your arms again. Draw your shoulders down and back. Open through your heart, your chest, your hip flexors. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Hinge at your hips. Keep that flat spine the whole way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Plant your hands, step back. Creating that inverted V with your body here. Hips high. Press the mat away from you. And keep on breathing. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, right leg high, three-legged dog. Keep back through that right heel. Keep the right hip square to the ground. Exhale, lunge, step through to your right thumb. Back into our lunge, right knee over right ankle. Let's move along here. Inhale, crescent lunge. Reach your fingers up, torso lifts. Keep the deep bend here through your right knee. Now your left leg is long and lifted. Notice your left heel here. Lift it up just a little bit, and you'll notice you can find a little bit more length through that left leg. Here we are with our crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, cactus your arms, so take it slow. Draw your elbows back. Keep your chest lifted. Feel the stretch through your left hip flexor. One more inhale. Hold for your exhale. Inhale, arms overhead, crescent lunge. Exhale, drop your hands down to the ground. Now we're going to come into Skandasana. So creep and crawl to your left, all the way over, so you're bending through your left knee here at about 90 degrees. So Skandasana, side surfer lunge. Again, that left knee only bent at 90 degrees. This allows you to plant your hands under your shoulders, keeping your spine parallel to the ground. You can feel this opening through your heart as you gaze out in front of you. Your spine is long and straight. Left knee is bent, toes face forward. One more inhale. Stay for your exhale. Inhale, creep and crawl back to lunge. Bend your right knee. Come towards the front of the space. And then we're going to come into runner's lunge. So toe heel your right foot off towards the edge of the mat. Lower your left knee down. Now take this as deep as you want. I really feel this stretch on my left hip flexor there, that front part of your left hip. So if you want to take it deeper, drop down onto your forearms. You can stay lifted. Maybe close your eyes. Just breathe into where you feel the tension, where you feel that tightness. One more inhale. And exhale. Curl your left toe under. Lift your left knee off of the ground. Now just step back with your right foot so you're into a high plank. Hold here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful job. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Press the mat away here. Send your hips high a little bit more. Inhale, left leg high. Send your left heel to the sky. Flex your left toes. Exhale, lunge, step through to your left foot. Now, if you can't get there in one step, step forward as much as you can, and then kind of walk it up to your left thumb. It's not as easy for everybody. Inhale, crescent lunge, reach up through your fingers. If this is really difficult for you, always know you can drop back to your right knee and find a low lunge. That is perfectly fine. If you are in your crescent, lift up through your right heel. And then on your exhale, we're going to cactus your arms, whatever variation you're in. Draw your elbows back, gaze up, soften through your belly. Feel a slight bend in your low back. Keep on breathing. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, plant your hands down to the ground, back into our lunge. Now we're going to Skandasana, side surfer, so creep and crawl to your right. All the way over, bend through your right knee. Right knee is at 90 degrees. Hands underneath your shoulders, your spine is long and straight. So side surfer lunge here. Keep on breathing. Lift your hips back. Guide your chest forward. Inhale, back to lunge. Creep and crawl to your left. Bend through your left knee. And we're going to take a runner's lunge on the left side. Toe heel that left foot out towards the edge of the mat. Really stretch through the hip flexor on the right side. Breathe into any of that tension, that tightness that you might feel in your hips, in your low back. One more inhale. And exhale. Plant your hands under your shoulders. Curl your right toe under, lift your right knee. And then step back into high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now inhale, shift forward back into your high plank. And then lower down one forearm at a time. So you're going to bring your hands at an 11, palms faced into the ground. Now drop to your knees. If you want, we're just holding this for about 30 seconds. Don't lower down through your shoulders. You want engagement through your shoulders. Press the mat away here through your forearms, through your palms, your elbows. Lift up right in between your shoulder blades. One more inhale. Exhale, lower your belly all the way down to the ground. So we're going to come into a Sphinx pose. Tops of your feet root into the earth. Hands at an 11. So your elbows are directly under your shoulders. Again, hands come to an 11. Now your belly is soft, your gaze is out in front of you. If you feel any tension in your low back, you can widen your feet towards the edges of your mat. The wider your feet are, the more gentle it's going to be on your low back. Now from here, Sphinx pose. We want to draw our chest forward, and as we do that, we almost energetically work our elbows back to our hips. Soften through the belly. Maybe close your eyes. Draw your your shoulders away from your ears. Slight bend through your low back. One more inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Go ahead and lower your belly, your chin, all the way down to the mat. We're going to come into locust with cactus arms. So we've had cactus arms already in class. So bring them to a goalpost out towards the edge of your mat. Start with your chin rooted into the ground. On your inhale, lift your head, your neck, your upper back, and maybe your arms lift. And exhale, lift through your feet. So you're kicking your toes back behind you. You're reaching through the top of your head out in front of you. Your arms are lifted, legs are lifted. You should be balancing on the soft part of your belly. Now keep breathing. Inhale, lift a little bit more. Hold on your exhale. Kick, stretch. One more inhale. Exhale, release and let it go. Exhale, release and let it go. Maybe just take a really quick reverse shavasana. So drop your left ear to the mat, gaze to the right, close your eyes. Inhale back to center, chin to the mat. Exhale, reverse shavasana, right ear to the mat, gaze to the left. Couple breaths. Inhale, chin back to the mat. Hands underneath your shoulders, curl your toes. Inhale, press up, tabletop. And on your exhale, go ahead and come to a comfortable seated position here. A little bit of sweat in my eyeballs. All right, so we're moving into peak posture, which I am gonna kind of switch it up a little bit. So our peak posture of class is going to be camel pose, Ustrasana. Camel pose instantly brings me anxiety. And I don't quite know why. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I think it is because I have always, well, for the last 8 years or so, I've had a computer job where I sit at the desk all day and I know that my hip flexors have started to contract and kind of shorten a little bit. So when I start to stretch them out, I can feel it a lot, and I think that's why it kind of brings up a little bit of anxiety. So just know that as we're moving through the camel, the biggest thing is for you to keep breathing. So often people stop breathing through camel, and that's when that lightheadedness will arise. So come onto your shins in a hero's pose, and then we're just going to lift up here. So we're going to do camel from our knees. Our knees are about hip width distance here. And we'll gaze out in front, and even just standing up straight here, you can begin to feel the stretch along your hip flexors. So we're going to take our hands to, as if we're placing them in back pockets, and draw your elbows back together. This is going to puff out through your chest. Now maybe this is step one, and this is as far as you're taking it, just drawing your shoulders back and gazing up to the sky. This may be enough for you. Few key points to continue to work your hips towards the front of the space. Work your belly towards the front. Lift up through your chest so you're feeling this bend in your mid to upper spine, not completely in your low back. Lift through your chest. Maybe you begin to take your gaze back behind you, but hips will open, chest will open, belly will open. Keep on breathing. Take it as deep as you can, and when you've found the spot that you can no longer go, hold for a couple of rounds of breath. One more inhale. Stay for your exhale. And then inhale, just slowly rise up to standing. Then exhale, take a seat back onto your hips. Couple rounds of breath here. If you got lightheaded at all, come back to your breath, close your eyes. We're going to do one more peak posture here because I think it is so important as you move through flow ones, flow twos, if you progress into Ashtanga or different styles of class. You'll see this a lot of times in classes. And when I say that this is a back bend, people are like, what? I wouldn't ever think this is a back bend. But again, think heart opener, think chest opener instead. So we're going to move through a Chaturanga Dandasana. Now I'm going to guide us through the modified variation. If you know the fullest variation, you know where you're going. If you don't, just do the modified variation with me here. So we're going to start in our high plank. So our high push-up position, again, drawing our hips down to midline so they're not piped up too high and they're not sagging down too low. And then go ahead and drop to your knees. So from here, we're in an extended tabletop. So typically with our tabletop, our knees are directly under our hips. Right now, our knees are back behind our hips. What we want to do here is we want to gaze forward. We want to find a slight tuck of our tailbone that shifts our heart forward. And then use your exhale to lower your belly all the way down onto the ground. Now tops of your feet are rooted into the earth, hands under your shoulders. We're moving into Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. We've been here already. Inhale, lift up through your head, your neck, your upper back, shining through your chest, opening through your heart. Then exhale, lower down. Curl your toes under. Inhale, press up, tabletop. Then exhale, downward facing dog. One breath together, fill it up. Exhale, you can drop down to your knees. So we're going to take a seat towards the middle of the mat here. And extend your legs out in front of you. We're going to come into Paschimottanasana, which is a seated forward fold. So I like to release any real estate underneath my hips here, find a good solid foundation. And always know, if you have been bending your knees through class in your forward folds and your halfway lifts, go ahead and find a slight bend in your knees right now. That just means you have tighter hamstrings, and we'll work into that here. Flex your toes back to your face. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. And then exhale, hinge at your hips. So keep your arms next to frame your face here. So you're gonna hinge your hips all the way, eventually reaching for your feet, your ankles, your big toes, whatever you can reach here. So if you have the ability to straighten out your legs, feel free, keep your knees bent. What you want is a long, straight spine. And then to take it deeper, bend your elbows. It will pull your chest towards the top of your thighs. You don't want to hollow in through this forward fold. We want to lengthen through our chest, lengthen through our spine. One more inhale. Again, to take it deeper, bend through your elbows. Keep your heart lifted. Release, inhale, slowly walk your hands up your legs. And we're going to take a twist from here. So bend your right knee. YogaStudio, which is a seated twist. So right foot comes to the outside edge of your left knee. So we're going to use our right hand to kickstand right back behind our hips. Inhale, lift your left arm high. Exhale, twist to the right. Maybe you can hook your left elbow to your right knee. Again, we're using that right hand to kickstand. We're pressing that away. We're lifting through our heart. And maybe on our exhales, we're twisting a little bit deeper, maybe gazing over right shoulder. One more inhale. Inhale, back to center, maybe a nice gentle counter twist. And then release your legs back out in front of you, maybe pedal them out. We're going to find this twist on the other side. YogaStudio, bend your left knee. Place your left foot to the outside of your right leg. Kickstand through your left hand. Inhale, reach your right arm high. Exhale, twist to the left. Maybe you can take your right knee. Take your right elbow to the left knee and twist it a little bit deeper. One more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, back to center, maybe counter twist to the right. And then again, release your legs out in front of you. Bend your knees here. We're going to take our weight all the way onto our back. So arms reach out in front of you and slowly lower down, one vertebrae at a time. Windshield wipe legs. Actually, toe heel your feet out towards the edges of the mat, finding constructive rest. Now, instead of dropping your knees towards the midline, let's take the windshield wiper with our legs. So drop your knees off to one side, bring them up, and then drop them off to the left. Move through that a couple times here. When you are done, bring your knees back up. Toe heel your feet back towards the center of your mat. Now, let your soles of your feet come together, knees open wide for butterfly legs or reclined bound angle pose. In Sanskrit, it's called Sita Baddha Konasana. Now, you can take this as deep as you want. So if you want it deeper, draw your heels towards your hips. If you want to take it a little bit more gentle, send your toes a little bit more towards the front of your mat. Just open up, breathing into the inside edges of your hips, the outside edges of your thighs. Soften wherever you feel the tension. Come back to your breath. Deep, long inhales and exhales. Maybe coming back to 4 to 5 counts. Notice any of those distractions, the noises, the thoughts. Again, let them pop up like a little thought cloud right above your head. Notice it, and then let it float on by like a cloud in the sky. So to release through here, bring your hands to the outside edges of your thighs and slowly work your knees back to center. Curl up into a little tiny yogi ball, bring your knees to your chest. Then exhale, full body stretch. Take your legs out in front of you. Reach your fingers back behind you. Take the biggest stretch of the morning. And then exhale, settle in here to your final Shavasana. Come to your sleeping pose, your corpse pose. Let your feet splay open wide here. Close your eyes. Work the palms of your hands up towards the sky. Draw your shoulders down towards the mat. Oftentimes when we're moving through heart openers, shoulder openers, back bends, it forces us to feel uncomfortable. And that can often bring up emotions of feeling vulnerable as well, as we're allowing our belly, our heart to be completely open to the world, one oftentimes we were trying to protect. As your heart is physically open, it can start to feel emotionally open and vulnerable as well. But as we're doing that, there are so many benefits. As we're strengthening the spine, we're stretching our hip flexors, we are expanding our lung capacity, increasing our respiration, which in turn increases our energy and our mental positivity. So stay here in your Shavasana as long as you would like. The time is just now 1 o'clock. Maybe stick around for 10 to 15 more deep, long inhales and exhales to finish off your practice. It has been a true honor to guide you guys through this basics class. Keep your eyes peeled on YogaPod Fort Collins Facebook page. We are going to continue to offer some of these free classes until we open back up, which will hopefully be soon. So thank you so much again. Feedback is great. I love feedback. Have a good rest of your day.